Okay, I have to demonstrate some restraint and decorum because I am in a very restrained and decorum type place. I'm at work. Listen, closing arguments are done. Did you watch the closing arguments? What up? The eggs? The dogs? Oh my gosh. Okay, so much went down today. First of all, remember when I told you that there was a rumor that a juror was out here in these streets, yak, 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 running her mouth? Well, somebody wrote into the judge and said, there's a juror out here running her mouth. And so the court did a complete investigation, including sending SLED to interview everybody on tape. Then they called the juror back into the judge's chambers with the lawyers from both sides and had a little chit chat with her yesterday. Can you imagine you had sitting on this jury for 6 weeks and then all of a sudden the very nice judge who sits in the big chair calls you into the back office? Okay, that's not bad enough because then he decided to just remove her from the case. Fine, you get removed. Don't you hope sincerely from the bottom of your heart that you could just take your little purse and go on home and nobody is the wiser? Oh, no, 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 no. He needed to let her go on the record. So he summoned her to the courtroom in front of God and all the world, except for we couldn't see her on TV, but everybody in that courtroom knows who she is. When you see her at the Piggly Wiggly, you're going to be like, is that the heifer that got kicked off the jury? So he called her in and was like, yeah, boo-boo, you done messed up. You gonna need to go. She talked to 3 people. What? How? Every day, the Honorable Judge Clifton Newman says, do not discuss the case. And this heifer's out here talking to 3 people and giving her opinions and her conclusions on the case. Apparently, she was telling people that she thought Alex was not guilty and that he should walk on these charges. Girl, you was gonna go. You was gonna go. And so the judge said, did you bring all your things? And she was like, I have some things back there. And he said, okay, well, what do you have? Because he was gonna have the bailiff go back and get them. She said, I have a dozen eggs and my purse and a bottle of water. A dozen eggs? Why you had a dozen eggs? Everybody was like, why she got a dozen eggs? Did the eggs come with her? Did she bring some chickens too? What is happening? But then other people were saying like, oh, if you on the jury was somebody who has a farm, maybe they were bringing in eggs. And eggs are expensive. Maybe that's how they bribed her. I bet you Dick Harpootlian gave her a dozen eggs, and so she was going to throw the case in favor of Alex. But because she knew she messed up, she just was like, okay. How long did she cry in her car before she was able to pull herself together to go home? And she was asking questions like, was this about my ex-husband? Now I need to know the story about her ex-husband. What is happening? So she was dismissed for, I wrote it down, improper jury contact. Okay, fine. So then we get to closing arguments. The defense got up there and threw Alex under the bus. Listen, let me say the quiet part out loud. Jim Griffin believes that Alex Murdaugh committed this murder, and he got up there and said, this is not what he said, but this is my translation. This dude I've been friends with for years has committed a horrible, horrible crime, and I am heartbroken. Please send him to prison now. Ignore everything else I say. And then he just sort of wandered around and threw out some word salad, and Alex was looking at him like, what are we doing? What are we doing? I do not know what Jim Griffin said, aside from to re-emphasize all of the points that the state had made in their case. I was like, Jim, you're supposed to be defending him, right? You defending him? Because he was like, oh, what are you saying? He's just going to lie? And then Jim Griffin said it flat out. He said, listen, yes, he lied about being at the kennels because lying is what addicts do. And if you want to know the truth, if I had known he was lying, I wouldn't be here right now. Oh, okay, Jim. Okay. Okay. And then he played a clip in court from YouTube. Jim, are you a YouTuber now? What is happening? Is YouTube evidence? Can you play just YouTube evidence in a court of law in the trial of the century? And it was just like, no. And so sort of to wrap up, he was like, look, Alex would do all the things with his sons. He would hunt, he would fish, he would drink beer. Was this child old enough to drink when he was killed? Like, what are we saying? I don't understand. I don't understand. And then he said, Sled invented evidence and Sled is making up stuff and coming down on him harshly. Jim, I was here for the rest of your closing, and you and I both know that that is not what you believe. You believe your former dear friend because I guarantee you they not going to be friends after this. Jim is going to wait for all them checks to clear. He's going to add the pool and the addition and the new roof to his house, and then he's going to get on with his happy life. Okay, what else do I need to talk about? Jim was like, yeah, he could have been out there finding the real killer. How come Jim is the only one who mentioned the real killer? Like, the only one. Nobody was talking about the real killer. Alex surely was not talking about the real killer. It's like, Sled could have been out here finding the real killer. You know what else? Your friend could have been not lying and possibly helping them get the information they needed to find the real killer. But that didn't happen either. Now did it? So Jim says murder is not logical. You know what is logical? Alex being the last one to see them alive and now they're dead. That is abundantly logical to me. Okay, so he said, gossip, rumor, and innuendo don't matter. Really? Well, I take high offense to that. I take very high offense. I matter. You matter. We out here gossiping in these streets. And wait, maybe he was just name checking me in his closing. Maybe I should capture that clip and put it someplace on this website. Wait, I think that's what I'm going to do. As soon as I figure out how to do technical things that include doing that. Gossip and rumor, and I'm going to sub in do matter. Lean in, girl. Let me tell you what I heard. Because the whole situation today was a mess. And then Jim got up there and he wept, got all choked up. And he was just like, do justice for my friend Paul and my friend Maggie. And then he turned his back and winked at Poot. Okay. You might be a scumbag, Jim. You might be a scumbag. Hopefully, you're a scumbag who's getting out of defending murderers, although, like I said before, murderers deserve a good defense, but maybe not from you. The last thing I want to talk about is OnStar. Now, OnStar, OnStar, I think it's kind of cute that they call it OwnStar. The OwnStar, okay, what is the OwnStar? And then Matters, I think that's his name, for the state, got up there and gave a passionate closing, rebuttal closing, final closing, whatever it is. Matters, the gray-haired guy that kind of reminds me of Wilford Brimley, he just had this like down-home Southern charm, and he was like, what is real? Ask yourself. What is real? And I was like, yes, what is real in this case? You get to decide. You get to decide what is real. And you know what? More than anything, I walked away from his closing feeling like he's a decent dude. You know what? Good case, bad case, he's a decent dude. And he said over and over and over, the state does not have to prove motive. They don't have to do it. Now, we gave you some things to hang your hat on, but we don't have to do it. And honestly, in some ways, Jim Griffin's closing helped out the state. He went a long way to help out the state. In fact, it was basically 3 lawyers getting up there explaining to us why Alex Murdaugh is guilty and needs to go to jail. But then I was listening to Mandy Madney's podcast this morning and I thought about it. All these people out here in the low country live in these small, teeny little towns. And when all of this is said and done, I'm going to go back to the big city. I'm going to go back to the suburbs. I'm going to go back to my regular life. Are these jurors going to need to go into witness protection? They're going to be safe driving down the street. If you get a flat tire or run out of gas on a road, or one of these back roads late at night, might one of these crooked sheriffs kill you and throw you to them wild hogs to eat you? Jurors, when you watch this, when you're done deliberating, if you find Alex guilty, please be safe and move to a big city because I'm nervous for y'all. But now the judge is going to explain the law to the jury and then we go on verdict watch. How long are we going to watch? We have Thursday, like half a day Thursday, and then all day Friday. And the judge could tell them to deliberate over the weekend. Hopefully they have something by Friday. What if they have something by tomorrow? How hard will you freak out? I will freak out so hard because I feel like if it comes back that fast, it's definitely guilty. All of those lawyers today argued that Alex Murdaugh is guilty, and I think he is. We'll see what the jury says. Bye.